Shama Lama Gamma Panda Ding Dong, April 2021.
Well, you're missing out refraction, aren't you?
Refraction? You wouldn't know the difference between refraction and a chartreuse windsock, for goodness sakes. Number 1. The atmosphere is a contradiction in terms, a paradox. Atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape. Number 2. To invoke your paradox refraction, that is, terrestrial refraction, you're going to have to provide the radius value and how you obtained it, along with the curving gases. Best wishes. Number 3. Please give us a break with the white paper technical language, light bending down fiasco. Even in your paradox refraction, you have light bending up. Ever heard of inferior mirages, clown shoes? Listening you discuss this topic is akin to listening to Mr. Magoo give the keynote address at a metabolic pathway convention. You're an imbecile.
Well, in the atmosphere, it usually means that the light is bending down towards us to some extent.
No, I'm just asking, what do you mean the light is bending down? What does that mean?
Dude, I'm not going to respond to a sea lining attempt.
He doesn't have the first friggin' clue. So now Gamma's going to feebly attempt to Elmer Fudd Sophus's way out of the discussion. Hey, Gamma, I got your sea lion right here, pretender clown.
If you've been around this long enough to know who I am...
Who you are, eh? Yeah, we know who you are. You're Shamalama Gamma Panda Ding Dong, the double speakingist bashing his own face in with a shovelist, natural experiment birds humpingist, retard hombre on the face of the Baltardiest.
You've been around this long enough to have heard about refraction before. So I'm not going to go into this thing where you pretend that you're 7 years old and this is the first time you've come across this concept.
Translation: I'm Shamalama Gamma Panda Ding Dong, and I don't know my ass from a pipe wrench. Now I'll unleash my retard rhetoric, Elmer Fudd sophistry, in a feebly clumsy last port in the storm attempt to save face on a subject I'm clearly clueless of.
No, I've just heard Nathan Oakley batter you all the time. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, well, you haven't, because I've
I have.
been on
I have heard.
Oh yeah, well, okay, point.
Yeah, in the
point
early
me to a
days.
time-
In the early
point me
days.
to a time
in
when
the early
he
days,
battered me.
He battered you. Now you don't go and speak to him. Why is that?
Well, after the numerous shellackings he took from Nathan, Gamma finally wisened up and ran away like the weasel bitch that he is.
Is irrelevant.
What does he lie about the refraction? What does he lie about? What does he say it is?
Well, if
What's
you,
he
go
lying
to
about?
if you go to my channel, which is called Humans of Earth, you watch my video, which is called Children of the Flat Earth, a Prelude. If you watch that, then you'll see him telling his lies.
So in your elephant-hurling fallacy pathetic diversion prelude here, you've got evidence in a video called Children of the Flat Earth, a Prelude? That Nathan lied about refraction? Really? I just went through your Abomination of the Earth video, clown. First I hit transcript and searched for refraction. I got 0 of 0 hits. Then I listened to the travesty just to make sure. Guess what I got? Your IQ. 0. Now you're the liar. Shocking surprise.
Where were we?
Watching you bash your face in with a spade shovel.
So, refraction. Why is it your tactic to pretend you've never heard of it before?
Here we go. Just like I told you, folks. The belly-laughing Elmer Fudd sophistry. He's pathetically clueless.
I have heard it.
You have heard of it.
Yeah,
But why are you...
I just wanted you to explain it.
Why?
So we can validate you have a clue as to what you speak of, do-licker. Duh.
Because, just to clarify your point.
But what? Why?
You can't just say refraction, though, can you?
Oh, yes, he can. That's all he and the rest of the incoherent ball-tard hordes can do. Bagak! Refraction. They're utterly clueless.
That's
So, let me get this straight. You've heard of refraction before, but you haven't heard of it in great enough detail, perhaps. So you wanted me to add to that detail.
The feeble Elmer Fudd's sophistry continues. The really scary thing? This moron thinks he's cloaked.
Just to explain what it means, you can't just say refraction. What does that mean?
Well,
refraction can mean many things.
But I think I can say it. I think that I can just say refraction.
Told you. Refraction. So now Gamma's going to pivot and exercise his special Evo mind powers and divine the opponent's thoughts.
I think that you know what that means. I think that you know how it would, how at least we claim it affects the light in the Black Swan and similar images.
So how paradox refraction affects light in the Black Swan? Really? Pray tell.
So I think that that is sufficient for me to say that.
So you just refraction is sufficient. The bar is below the abyssal plane, don't you think?
So when someone says Black Swan to you, what does that mean to you? Refraction.
It means the death of his fairy tale ball-tard spinning space monkey religion and his ass in a sling.
Right, well, let's...
I'm the student. I'm just answering questions.
Right, well, let's be clear about that.
You don't know it. It's fine.
I didn't say I didn't know it. I didn't say I didn't know it. We're establishing whether you know it or not.
Yeah, nice move. Now the Elmer Fudd Sophist Gamma is feebly attempting to have everyone refocus on what the opponent's level of understanding of refraction is, because Gamma doesn't have any understanding. Didn't see that coming.
Now, as you've said, you're the student, I'm the teacher.
You're the teacher? You couldn't teach the bionic woman hearing if you chained her to the back of a dump truck and drug her through a nitroglycerin plant. You're an imbecile.
So you aren't in a position to challenge anything I say, are you?
Well, I can't ask questions.
You can ask questions. You aren't in a position to be able to say that anything I tell you is incorrect, are you?
He might not be able to, Crayon Muncher, but everyone listening will know that you're a delusional Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit in less than a plank time. So, teacher, while we're still young, please educate everyone on paradoxical refraction.
Yeah, but I can ask questions as the student, right?
Yeah, okay. Well, the light is bending down.
He didn't even ask a question, but Gamma Moron Panda leads out with the only Mr. Magoo repeat he's got. Light is bending down. It's all he can muster, folks, because he's a pretender clown. Numpty dipshit. What a belly laugher. So this is what you get when you sign up for classes at Mr. Magoo U. Title of the course, Refraction. Professor, Shama Lama Gamma Panda Ding Dong Numpty Dipshit. Time, 1 p.m. to 1:00:05 p.m. Days of the week, NA. One-time course. Credits, negative .0000001. Clown.
So where's the light bending down from?
Whatever it is you're looking at.
So let's say I'm looking at an inferior mirage. What you gonna do now with your light is bending down, numpty professor?
You aren't paying attention, are you? You're not a very good student.
No, please forgive me. The 5-second course is just too overwhelming. The mind-bending complexity and the depth of your light is bending down, parrot, is intellectually paralyzing. Can I do it with milk?
Refraction is light bending down.
You guys think it's always existed? The universe had always existed.
And you think that's absurd?
No, I know it's absurd with absolute certainty. Why? Because it violates the second law of thermodynamics. Duh! You see, folks, this is another shining example of ball-tard morons not parroting their own pseudoscientists. They're this left-wing fuckwit faction of fanatical religious zealot reprobate retards that contradict themselves and basic reasoning, then make shit up on the fly. It's absolutely hilarious. Let's call in the big dogs and listen to what they have to say about an always was, past eternal universe. From Alexander Vilenkin, Many Worlds in One. It is said that an argument is what convinces reasonable men, and a proof is what it takes to convince even an unreasonable man. With the proof now in place, cosmologists can no longer hide behind the possibility of a past eternal universe. There is no escape. They have to face the problem of a cosmic beginning.
Uh-oh!
From Professor Paul Davies, The Big Questions. The universe can't have existed forever. We know there must have been an absolute beginning a finite time ago.
Uh-oh!
From the late Stephen Hawking, this argument about whether or not the universe had a beginning persisted into the 19th and 20th centuries. It was conducted mainly on the basis of theology and philosophy, with little consideration of observational evidence. This may have been reasonable given the notoriously unreliable character of cosmological observations until fairly recently. The cosmologist Sir Arthur Eddington once said, "Don't worry if your theory doesn't agree with observations, because they're probably wrong. But if your theory disagrees with the second law of thermodynamics, it is in bad trouble." In fact, the theory that the universe has existed forever is in serious difficulty with the second law of thermodynamics. The second law states that disorder always increases with time. Like the argument about human progress, it indicates that there must have been a beginning.
Hosmer with a drive. Cheese and crackers.
Clowns.
But you think a creator has always existed, and that's not absurd.
No, I know it's not absurd with absolute certainty. You see, for finite things to exist, the universe, as I just explained, and us, there must be and always was eternal source. See Aristotle, prime mover, first cause, uncaused cause. Duh. Checkmate, reprobate.
Yes, you can learn things about the world without doing the four-step method, period. Now,
Thank you.
if you want a theory at the end, you are going to need to follow that four-step method.
Okay, but all we're concerned about here is learning something about the world, so I don't care
Right.
about that.
But that's not what the topic was here, Mr. Magoo fuckstick. The topic was scientific evidence, which is produced by the scientific method. You know, that thing which you said doesn't exist.
Again, for the 1000th time, the scientific method does not exist.
Not your second grade, pathetically vague retard learning something about the world. Numpty dipshittery.
So,
What rule?
so-
That daft rule that you've just invented that apparently is... Where's that written down?
Oh, that thing you don't care about. Scientific theory. The daft rule, as you characterized it. Where's that written down? Well, right here. From Chemistry About, a scientific theory summarizes a hypothesis or a group of hypotheses that have been supported with repeated testing. From Quarks to Quasars, a scientific theory consists of one or more hypotheses that have been supported with repeated testing. From Scientific American, a scientific theory is an explanation of some aspect of the natural world that has been substantiated through repeated experiments or testing. From the University of Rochester Physics Labs, a scientific theory represents a hypothesis or group of related hypotheses which has been confirmed through repeated experimental tests. By the way, you'd fail 5th grade general science. You dumbass cracker!
if you want a theory, you got to do that stuff. I don't know why you don't think you have to.
Well, because you've just made that up.
You seem as if you like to talk. I like to let people talk who like to talk. It makes it easier to find out how full of shit they are.
And that's where does that come from?
You dumbass.
Oh my God! Every science person out there knows this.
All right, show me
That's not doing
any
pseudoscience.
science person that says that. A scientific theory could be a collection of experiments, or I think it could. I think it could even exist without experiments. I'm not sure.
Cornwall cars. We have
Numpty dipshit.
all cars, please assist. All cars, please assist.
Prepare yourself.
For a top 3 most moronic, imbecilic claim ever uttered by a ball-tard spinning space monkey.
And for the 1000th time, the scientific method does not exist.
What the hell did you just say?
And for the 1000th time, the scientific method does not exist. For the 1000th time. The scientific method does not exist.
Science denying ball-tard. We'll just do 10 out of 185 million. We want to get out of here this century. From the Geosociety, Kristen McClellan, the title of the article, The Nature of Science and the Scientific Method. From the University of Rochester Physics Labs, Professor Wolf's title of the article, Introduction to the Scientific Method. From Anne-Marie Helmenstein, PhD, Biomedical Sciences, title of the article, 6 Steps of the Scientific Method. From the Khan Academy, title of the article, The Scientific Method. From Live Science, title of the article, Science and the Scientific Method. From ChemLibreText, title of the article, 1.4, The Scientific Method, How Chemists Think. From Northern Arizona University, title of the article, Defining the Scientific Method. From Purdue University, title of the article, The Scientific Method. From the National Institutes of Health.gov, title of the paper, The Scientific Method. From the most prestigious secular science journal in the entire friggin' world, Nature, title of the article, Defining the Scientific Method.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over.
Shama Lama. Just tattoo pretender clown dunce on your forehead and be done with it already. By the way, thanks.
You're saying that a plane has to dip its nose in order to not fly off into space?
An aircraft in flight would have to drop in altitude to account for the ball-tard ball.
The very point is, how does a plane get to go higher and higher without you adding any energy into that system anymore? In this case, any more thrust?
Well, Professor, very simple. The aircraft's altitude is always measured relative to what? The ground. They're mutually inclusive.
Look at you, big dummy.
So all that would have to happen for the aircraft's altitude to increase while the aircraft is flying level and not increasing thrust is to all of a sudden, like, have the ground below the aircraft start dropping away, like curving down underneath the aircraft. Next block of instruction, how to point at a car.
In order for him to go higher, he has to add thrust. Can I just point out to you, I'm glad we've got the planes flying down close to the ocean, because it gives us a chance to remind you that they are flying just above sea level. Sea level is we'll say is more or less the same all around the globe.
Wait a second, what? Isn't the globe curved? So you're saying level is curved? Are you retarded?
The curving sea level that curves around the globe.
Yep, you're a retard.
Sometimes level means flat. Sometimes when we use it casually, it means flat. But sometimes it doesn't mean flat.
Sometimes water means H2O. Sometimes it means aardvarks. And other times it means anvils. You just never know. The only limit is your imagination.
But you are just pretending. I can demonstrate this to you very easily.
Go ahead. Make my day.
If I take a plank of wood, I want to make a shelf, it's nice and flat, smooth, flat. There are no lumps in it, no bumps in it, there are no holes in it. It's flat. Now I put up my shelf. As Rakir pointed out earlier, I'm crap at putting up shelves. My shelf is on a slope now. My shelf is now not level. It is still flat, though. Oh,
Are you serious?
You need to be institutionalized, dude. Tranquilizers, restraints, the whole 9 yards. This is batshit insane, folks. Did you swap spit in the shower with Red's Pretenderic by chance? Because he pulled this exact same numpty shelf maneuver about 4 years ago, then I dropped the hammer on his dumb ass. Like I'm going to do to you right now. This is second grade non sequitur. Check this out, folks. Initially, he separated out the characteristics of the surface of the shelf, it being smooth, flat, no bumps, etc., from the orientation of the shelf as a whole. Then he tilted the whole shelf, then summarized that whole shelf's orientation as slope, not level, but it's still flat. Crayon muncher, pretender clown numpty dipshit, retard of the ages. The characteristics of the surface of the shelf and the orientation of the shelf as a whole are two different animals.
Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Fatality.
I'm pointing out the difference, that there is a difference between the words flat and level. They do not mean the same thing, and pretending that they do is very silly.
Listen up, fundy numpty materialist. Retard of the ages. You need to get on your knees and start praying ceaselessly, giving thanks to the rocks, pond scum, whatever, for the autonomic nervous system. Because if you had to think to breathe, you'd be in big trouble. By the way, retard of the ages, you'll never recover. Spin in space, monkeys. Spin in space, monkeys.
Hey!
Hello.
It's for you.
Yeah.
You've just been erased.